Welcome to Billabong Retreat Podcasts, a place to find simple ideas for living happier and healthier lives based on ancient wisdoms and modern science. You can find out more at www.billabongretreat.com.au/blog. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Basia Nowacki, and I'm one of the yoga teachers here at the beautiful Billabong Retreat. So today I'm going to be talking about the prerequisite for mindfulness, which is really the disillusionment of your thoughts. Whenever we practice meditation, we are practicing being present, being here in the now. And this can be quite challenging for our minds because the very nature of our mind is to solve problems. So therefore, to be busy, to be working, to be thinking. Now, if we investigate, we see that while this initially sounds like a good thing, yes, I would want my mind to be solving my problems, but unfortunately, it doesn't always work that effectively. If we spend time observing our mind, looking to where it actually goes, how it actually thinks, we actually realize a lot of the time it repeats thoughts. It sees the negative side of things. Or you could say it has like this negativity bias. And it replays a lot of the past, or at least it's heavily influenced by the past on the current thoughts. And so this is a really helpful experience to actually have, to not just understand it intellectually, but to experience the non-helpfulness of our thoughts. And the reason that this is helpful is that it actually assists us into actually letting thoughts go. A lot of the time I find people are always mentioning that they know that they have thoughts, but they find it hard to let the thoughts go. And so helping to assist in letting thoughts go is a really beneficial practice to have. And of course, extremely beneficial in any mindfulness practice. And the truth is that if we examine ourselves, we actually have a bit of a love affair with our thoughts. Deep down inside, we actually think we are being very productive in letting thoughts go on, and by thinking consistently over and over about it, because by doing that, we sometimes think that we'll come to an answer. So to actually experience the truth of the matter is actually more important just than understanding it from a theoretical level, as I am explaining it now. And so that's why I recommend this following practice, a meditation practice where we actually label our thoughts. So if you like, after listening to this, put a timer for 5 to 10 minutes, or however long you have. And for that duration of that time, until the timer goes off, see if you can just focus on your breath, coming in and coming out. And then anytime you have a thought, write it down. Now you don't have to write down the whole thought, just write down the theme or the topic of the thought, something that would jolt your memory about the thought. And then the moment you write it down, let it go and return back to watching your breath. And simply continue with this practice for the remainder of the time. Now the interesting part is actually once the timer has gone off and you start to look at your thoughts, start to examine what your thoughts were and see if there's actually any patterns. Are they more past thoughts or future thoughts? Do they tend to be worry thoughts or fearful thoughts or analyzing thoughts? Or if there's any repetitive thoughts. And this really applies more for longer sits or longer meditation times. You'll see how many times you get a repetitive thought. But then my favorite part of analyzing and having a look at and examining your thoughts that you wrote down is to start to question how many of your thoughts were actually helpful, or you could say beneficial, useful, and cross out all the useless thoughts. Now, if you're wondering what a useful thought is, see a useful thought as an inspired new thought, one that you hadn't had before. Now, if you look at it and are still not sure, ask yourself, was it helpful for me to think of this when practicing meditation, when practicing being present? You can then see that it would be more useful to set time aside to think and solve and let the other time of our life be filled with presence. So looking back at the things you wrote should hopefully show you how not useful your thinking actually is. And so start to kind of reduce that love affair with our thoughts, that hidden love affair. And so next time that you are practicing mindfulness or simply being present, and those thoughts interrupt you, as they will because it's the very nature of the mind, you can smile at them, recognizing from experience that they are not important. They are probably repetitive, and so you can let them go and come back to just being fully present in the here and now. Enjoy.
You have been listening to a Billabong Retreat podcast, a place to find simple ideas for living happier and healthier lives based on ancient wisdoms and modern science. You can find out more at www.billabongretreat.com.au/blog. We hope you enjoyed, and we look forward to welcoming you again.